What is up, humans of the cardboard? We are back with the final revealed card for Duelist Pack. Duelist of the Abyss is a water duelist pack where we're supporting sharks, we're supporting marine cess, and we're supporting Mako Tsunami's water Umi good stuff type deck. We have everything else revealed. The marine cess stuff is great. The Mako stuff is cool. Doesn't really make him super competitive, but it does make him have some playable cards. And then we have the shark stuff, which also I think is great. I think like marine cess and sharks are going to be competitively playable after this. But anyway, the final card we have today is another Exceed monster called CXYZ, otherwise known as like Chaos Knight. Nafil, Asylum Chaos Knight. Really cool. This card is crazy. Let's get into him because there's a lot to get into. I also brought up a bunch of things that he's going to be able to work with because he's one of those like overlay monsters that's kind of weird, but once you get the idea in your head, it'll make more sense. Anyway, this is a water aqua XYZ effect monster, rank 6 with 2000 attack, 3000 defense, takes 3 level 6 monsters. But not really. You're never making him that way because you can also exceed summon this card by using Nafil Asylum Heth Knight. This is the card we got revealed earlier in the shark support. We'll get to him in just a sec to make more sense of this card. So you can just plop him on top of that card as material, using him and its materials added to him as materials. And you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first effect reads, cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is already like kind of nice, just being a 2,000, 3,000 wall that can't be destroyed by card effects. The other effect reads, you can attach one material from this card as cost. Then special summon one number Exceed monster that has a number between 101 and 107 in its name from your extra deck. By using this face-up card you control as material, but destroy it during your opponent's next end phase. This is treated as an Exceed summon, and you transfer this card's materials to that card. Okay, so this actually does a lot. So first and foremost, you just have to keep in mind you're overlaying any 101 to 107. If you don't know, all the number monsters that go between 101 and 107 have like a smaller version and a bigger version. The only problem through the years is that while the bigger versions are generally much better than the smaller versions, they have this clause where like they don't become nearly as good unless they have the smaller version attached as material. Well, this isn't as big of a problem because we now have this card, and this is the card you go up through just to even get into this guy. And so this card, its effects read, it can't be destroyed by battle while a number of monsters on the field, whoop-de-doo. The main effect, though, is during the main phase as a quick effect. So this could be disruption as well if you don't even want to go up into that play. You can attach 2 materials from this card as cost. Then attach one number Exceed monster that has a number between 101 and 107 in its name from your extract to this card as material. Then you can attach one other face-up monster on the field to this card as material. By the way, keep in mind that it says any face-up monster on the field to this card. That could be another one of your monsters if you're doing a combo turn 1. Or if it's not turn 1, you can equip an opponent's monster. This is non-targeting, non-destruction, equip as material. That's actually really strong. Removal, and it's a quick effect, so you gotta love that. So what the idea here is, like I said, all of the big number, like the C101s through 107s, want to have the smaller one attached. Well, that's what this card does. This card can attach its one of the smaller ones to it to then suck up another monster. Then you can go up into Chaos Knight, and then Chaos Knight already has the 101 through 107. So then when you overlay a monster on top of this card, you can get the big one and you will have the small one attached as material, and it will get its full range of effects with, let's see, let me look at this card. This card only attaches one material from it. So if you're like using this guy, you will have detached 2 materials to attach another. So that'll be 2, and then you potentially equip another. So 2 to 3 materials on this. Or I'm sorry, 1 to 2 materials on this, go up into this guy, which would be 2 to 3 materials on him, and then you'd attach 1 more. So you'd have 1 to 2 materials again going into the new monster. But the bonus here is just like, 1, you already have removal on your way going up through this line, and then you get to something crazy. Some of these monsters, the more noteworthy ones, I believe are like Giant Red Hand. This card says if any card or effect is activated on the field, you can detach a material from this card as a quick effect and negate the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field until the end of the turn. This is one of those effects where like it even negates like just spells and traps that are just activating there, and it just negates everything else. Keep in mind it negates your stuff as well, but it's only till the end of the turn, so it's not the biggest deal in the world, but still a really cool card. Next up here you have Umbral Horror Masquerade. This card kind of does a lot. On special summon, it pops a spell or trap, not bad. Then if it has its other its smaller version as material, it can once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, detach a material, negate the activation, then you can send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and if you do, have your opponent's life points. So this card does a lot, right? Pop a back row, an imperma monster on the field, and rip a random card out of your opponent's hand to then cut their life points in half. So this card's kind of crazy. If your opponent can't work around it, they'll probably just lose to it, because this card is just going to take so much from them. They take a card from hand, takes a spell or trap from the field, negates a monster, and takes half their life points. So this card's kind of insane. Next up, we have C103 Ragnafinity. This card, during either player's turn, can attach material to target a monster your opponent controls, inflict damage equal to the difference between its original attack and its current attack. That's Ragnazero's whole deal, is it like punishing people for like having monsters with different stats from their normal stats. And if you do that, banish it. So it's a targeting banish, but it's a quick targeting banish, which is pretty nasty. Then when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while it has XYZ material, you can special summon this card back from the grave. But the only thing is, number 103 Ragnazero must be engraved to activate this effect. So again, it's one of those things where like its float effect doesn't become live unless you play the Ragnazero and use Ragnazero to get up into this. But still a powerful card nonetheless. We get to Silent Honor Dark. So Silent Honor Dark is already a card you might be playing in a deck that would be doing this, like Sharks. But this card says, once per turn you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls, attach it to this card as material. Simple, seems good, seems fine enough. And when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while it has material, you can special summon this card from your grave, then gain life points equal to the original attack of this card. And number 101 Silent Honor Arc must be engraved to activate and resolve this effect. And if this card is special summoned this way, it cannot attack for the rest of the turn. So it's kind of just like a good removal card combined with like a decent float effect. Your opponent doesn't really want to destroy it. Not one of the better ones, I think, in my opinion. I'd lean towards some of the other ones. And the last one, as far as the 101s to 107s go, is Neo Galaxy Tachyon Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. You can attach a material from this card until the end of the turn to negate the effects of all other face-up cards on the field. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. So this is where you go for game. It's also 4,500 if you didn't notice. And if this card has number 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon as material, gains this additional effect where you contribute 2 monsters. And then this card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. That's kind of a more specific effect. Like you'd have to have 2 other monsters you're cool attributing, and your opponents would need to have 3 monsters, ideally in attack position, so that this card would be able to inflict enough damage going over them to kill them. Like this is really like a kill your opponent kind of card. But I don't know, it's still powerful nonetheless. It clears over like a Dragoon after negating something. You can negate an access code, bring it back down, and then walk over it pretty easily. Like it's still a decent card. I would keep it in mind. And then the last card that makes any sense here to keep in mind is CXYZ Burying Hope. This card's actually kind of crazy. He takes 3 or more level 7 monsters, but not really, because you can also exceed summon this card by using 1 monster you control with C101 through C107 in its name. Only the C's, so obviously this helps summon those out much easier. As material, also you transfer their materials to this card. It's treated as an exceed summon. This card gains 1,000 attack for each Exceed material attached to it. Again, if we keep ranking up, like this card could easily have 4 or 5 materials on it. So this could be 4,000 to 5,000 attack. Also, this could be a way to out stuff like Dragoon. Like it's annoying, but you don't want to give them something to negate. So if they didn't negate you early, you could literally just go like overlay, and your opponent might sit there being like, I'm 3,000, like he can't even clear over me. I'm just waiting for him to go into something that threatens me. And then you make this guy and he's 4,000 attack and you just walk over it. The other cool thing is you could target a number monster in your graveyard until your opponent's next end phase. this card's name becomes that monster's and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. That gives you the ability to like copy something with a cool removal / disruption effect and then go with it. So you could like copy like an Asylum Knight Engraved to be able to like attack, like steal an opponent's monster, non-targeting as materials, something like Giant Red Hand. There's actually some pretty cool utility for this card. And if this package, if you really go in on this package, this could be a card to include because it gives you like some alternate win condition for sure. But yeah, I wanted to cover all that stuff. I thought this card was really interesting, but it also requires like looking at what it can take advantage of. And I think there's a good little pool here of stuff that can be taken advantage of. Now, I'm not entirely sure if like the standard shark deck is going to have space / focus enough on the level 5s. I mean, the new best monster in the deck is level 5, so it does actually make it pretty easy to go into this guy. But still, like it just depends. So definitely keep an eye out for it though. It's definitely going to be one of those things where maybe you either have to build a shark deck that specifically leans more into this card, or if there is enough space, I don't know exactly what space looks like in the shark extra deck as of right now. Maybe you can fit a decent little package in there to make this card like crazy and really take advantage of the Nafeel Asylum Heth Knight as well. So let me know your thoughts down below on this card. Is there any other like weird interactions that I missed? This is just what I found looking up on like Yugipedia and stuff. So let me know your thoughts down below. This card seems kind of crazy to me, but I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.